3 days after my grandfather's funeral, I pointed my old pickup up that winding, snowy mountain road to Blackwood Ridge Resort. The only thing Pop left me in his will. The world felt heavy, the sort of heavy that sits behind your ribs, and I half expected that when I reached the old lodge maybe I'd find a little peace, maybe just a breath of closure. Instead, what I found was nearly $500,000 in stolen Rent County checks made out to the HOA for years on end, and a woman with a clipboard sharp enough to cut through steel. Turns out the Pinecone Hills HOA had been running their little empire right under everyone's nose, and they had no idea I was about to kick the hornet's nest. That lobby felt like a mausoleum, thick with dust, cold air drifting in through busted windows, and that lonely wind singing through the pines. I stepped into Pop's old office expecting ghosts, and found them all Wright County checks 5 years' worth, every one signed by Brenda Worthington, the queen bee of this HOA hive. Before I could even gather my thoughts, tires crunched outside. Brenda herself strode in, clipboard and pearls, that polite bank manager smile on her lips and ice in her eyes. "Mr. Morrison," she started as if I'd shown up just to hand her a check. "You owe $23,000 in violations. Immediately." She ran down the list: untrimmed hedges, unauthorized signage, structural issues. Her paperwork was so fresh, it probably still smelled like the printer. I just slid that fat stack of county receipts across the counter. Watching her face lose all color was a little like watching a blizzard roll in. "Brenda, you've been stealing from my family for 5 years, I told her. This isn't over." She blinked, forced a smile, and mumbled something about proper channels, knuckles white on her clipboard. But here's the thing, this didn't start with me. My grandfather Pop built Blackwood Ridge Resort back in '68. 47 cabins ringed a postcard-perfect mountain lake. The main lodge was the beating heart of summer reunions, with barbecue smoke twisting up through pine needles 3 generations around the old stone fireplace. After Pop died in 2019, the lawyers circled, and by the time they finished, the place was a white elephant nobody wanted except me. At 34, with more calluses than common sense, I figured a Denver construction foreman could handle whatever mess Pop left behind. What I didn't count on was the HOA gauntlet. Pinecone Hills was full of retirees and vacation rentals, every mailbox standing at attention lawns, clipped so perfect you could play pool on them. 10 minutes after rolling in, Brenda was there, pristine Lexus, gleaming clipboard ready, khakis pressed so hard they'd slice bread. "Mr. Morrison, we need to discuss your outstanding violations." She rattled off fines and fees. When I asked for documentation, she actually sniffed at me and clutched that clipboard like a lifeline. After Brenda's parade, my neighbor Mrs. Cecilia stopped by, dirt under her nails from her little garden. "She's been telling everyone she manages your property now," she whispered, eyes darting. "All your mail gets forwarded to her." Then she scurried away, looking like she'd said too much. It didn't take long at the county office to confirm my worst suspicions. Burnt coffee, flickering lights, the whole place humming with the energy of lost paperwork. Dale at the desk pulled records, $8,000 every month county to Worthington Property Solutions, 5 years straight. All signed by Brenda, all neat and official. Only problem, Pop's signature was a joke. I'd seen the real thing my whole life. This looked like a child's forgery. Back at the lodge, surrounded by Pop's journals, I started connecting dots. Brenda had cooked up emergency management protocols after Pop's first heart attack, convinced the county she was protecting property values, funneled all the maintenance contracts to her nephew's company, Mountain Security LLC work. That, of course, never happened. In reality, Mrs. Cecilia was the one shoveling snow and pulling weeds out of respect for Pop. Pop's last entry was almost a plea. "Jake, she's been stealing for years. County contract requires benefit for the whole community, not her pockets. Check the agreements." Turns out Brenda had been intercepting Pop's mail, filing fake violations, building a paper trail to make the theft look legit. When neighbors asked where the money was going, she'd show them phony receipts. When the county asked questions, she'd show a stack of violations she'd written herself. With my construction background, it wasn't hard to spot the next layer. Her company was never even licensed. Colorado law's clear property management needs owner consent, a state license, and full financial transparency. If you're ever in doubt, ask to see the license. No license. Walk away. This wasn't HOA overreach, it was fraud. Pop died before he could finish the case, but he left the fuse burning. My job was to light it. Next morning, Brenda showed up with a spindly man in a wrinkled suit, Fletcher Grimby, HOA attorney, who looked like he'd just lost a bet. Mr. Morrison, Mrs. Worthington's here to formalize your property's management transition. Their paperwork was a mess, mismatched signatures, legal gibberish the works. I'll need my own attorney, I said. Brenda's smile froze. Lisa, my cousin, specializes in HOA law. Her office smells like expensive coffee and sharper justice. She took one look at Brenda's documents and burst out laughing. Jake, this is amateur hour. No business license, no insurance, no bond. But her real discovery chilled me. Brenda had run the same scam across 6 other properties. This wasn't one greedy neighbor. It was organized theft. For a week, I documented everything, photos of broken gutters, weeds, paint peeling off like sunburn. Every shot proved the only thing Brenda maintained was a fiction. Then Bob Hendricks, the retired mailman, shared the final piece. Never seen a maintenance crew at your place, Jake. But Brenda, she's been collecting your mail for years. Brenda called an emergency HOA meeting to address security concerns about me. The lodge was packed with nervous neighbors. Brenda spun a tale about my supposed renovation threats. When it was my turn, I just asked, "Can you explain what maintenance you've actually provided in 5 years?" The silence was so thick it hummed. Mrs. Cecilia spoke up. "I'm the one who's done all the weeding. Never seen any professionals." Suddenly, everyone remembered they'd never seen a single crew. Brenda's power evaporated overnight. Her next move was pure intimidation, legal threats, fake condemnations, padlocks on empty sheds. I cut through her evidence as quick as a bolt cutter through a rusty lock. Lisa subpoenaed Brenda's bank records. What we found made my head spin. County checks transferred straight to Brenda's personal account month after month at multiple properties. Brenda had targeted the elderly, the absent, the grieving across 4 states. But then came the twist. Mrs. Cecilia and Bob, my unassuming neighbors, had documented everything. Photos, logs, even utility records showing nobody had ever actually done maintenance. The evidence piled up: over $200,000 stolen locally, $800,000 region-wide. In Pop's dusty office, Lisa broke the news. "Jake, this is federal. RICO mail fraud the works." Brenda's little empire was about to come crashing down. Brenda retaliated with fake condemnation notices, phony inspection stickers, and late-night sign removal, but my security cameras caught every move. Her final act was to bribe the county inspector, offered $5,000 to condemn the property the day before our community event. Instead, the inspector recorded the conversation and handed it straight to the feds. We rallied the neighbors. Community Day at Blackwood Ridge started like any other family's barbecue laughter, but this time we unveiled boards showing Brenda's theft bank record security footage, maps of all her scams. Agent Santos from the FBI stepped forward, badge gleaming. Brenda was arrested on the spot. Marcus, her nephew, was caught fleeing with boxes of evidence. 6 months later, Brenda faced the judge in an orange jumpsuit. 8 years in prison, full restitution, and every penny seized. The civil suit recovered $24 million. Pop's dream was reborn lake access for all restored trails, community events, scholarships, and a new HOA president, Mrs. Cecilia, promising transparency, term limits, and actual neighborliness. The broader impact: Colorado passed Brenda's law, mandatory audits, transparency, criminal penalties for HOA fraud. I ended up testifying before Congress, sharing what Pop always believed: when communities stand together, no tyrant stands a chance. Justice, I learned, isn't just about punishing the crooks. It's about neighbors taking back their power and refusing to let fear win. Sometimes you don't just reclaim a resort, you rebuild the whole idea of community. So let's open this up. Where do you stand on HOA power? Do you trust your neighbors or your HOA to do the right thing? Maybe you've faced down a clipboard tyrant yourself. Or maybe you've seen a little justice served in your own backyard. Drop your story below. Let's see who's got the wildest tale of community karma.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video. Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.